Jojo Siwa releases a song called Karma, and 5 days later, OJ Simpson dies. How many letters are in the word karma? 5. And what's OJ spelled backwards and doubled? Joe. Coincidence? I think not. Hey guys, it's Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. If you are much like me, you've been unable to escape Jojo Siwa the last couple of days, or maybe weeks or months or an entire lifetime. I feel like everything I've learned about Jojo Siwa has been against my will. Kind of like whatever is going on here. When I tell you that these skinny jeans are generally a trigger for me, I'm not kidding. I see these skinny jeans on the streets, I take a hard left. It could be straight into traffic, hard left. Honestly, like, I would generally be a fool to say that I thought I was living a Jojo free life. I don't think I ever truly was. I feel like Jojo was always like secretly there in the background, just lurking and plotting and waiting to just be like, hey!
Hello everyone, how's it going today, guys? Good. I am so glad to hear that.
And insert herself into my life. And it was definitely confirmed for me when I came across this specific video on Twitter.
I got a question. If you could have one heaven phone call, this is a random heaven phone call, okay? Nothing too serious. If it was serious, I'd call grandma, grandpa, uncle I never got to meet, someone like that.
First glance, I seriously thought this was that guy that was like, I'm gonna blow up and then act like I don't know nobody. And when I found out, it wasn't him. And it was indeed Jojo Siwa. This Jojo Siwa is crazy, I know.
Unserious heaven phone call. Who are you calling?
You know, Jojo, to be honest with you, I'm gonna call my mom to come pick me up. Which, speaking of moms, if you didn't know, Jojo Siwa got her start on Dance Moms. You know that show with that woman whose name sounds like she'd own a cake box mix line?
You are an uneducated mess! Quit drinking!
Because she actually just really hates children and screams all day at them about dancing when it's really not that deep, but she acts like it's the deepest thing in the world. Yeah, so that show. So Jojo was on that, and she apparently learned nothing, but then went on to become this like really big star for tweens. Kind of like a younger generation Hannah Montana, but on YouTube, and if unicorns and bows and rainbows jumped her. Like, Jojo was a huge deal. For real. I'm talking a big enough deal to have merch in normie stores like Walmart and stuff. There was Jojo Siwa perfume, Jojo Siwa swimsuits, Jojo Siwa alarm clocks that probably sounded like this.
Hey everyone, it's Jojo. Welcome back to Jojo's Every Single Wizard.
And can't forget the Jojo Siwa asbestos makeup kit. Aww. The kiddos were eating it up and so were their parents. Respectfully. Until, like any other viral child star, Jojo grew up, as humans do, and she was like, yeah, I'm not wearing bows anymore. Jojo not only ditched the bows, but she also came out. And so did the homophobe and the parents that were buying their kids Jojo Siwa bed sheets and taking them to go see a real live lesbian perform. Ooh, so scary. She dealt with a lot of parental backlash, like, shocker, the people who want to go back to the 1860s are not having it. Wow, so crazy. Wouldn't have seen that one coming. But she went on to go on Dancing with the Stars and was actually part of like the first same-sex couple to compete, which is awesome. All was well in Jojo land, at least we thought, until the child abuse allegations came out. So Jojo and her mom created this like tween girl band called XOMG Pop. It was a bunch of young girls, and from my understanding, it was very Dance Moms-esque, just like on crack. It was like X Games mode version. Apparently the girls were overworked, verbally abused, pitted against each other, and even told to suck it up and put a pad on it when they started bleeding from their belly button after having spinal cord surgery and being overworked to exhaustion. Which, BT dubs, that little girl was removed from the band after her mom called out Jojo and Jojo's mom for being mini little Abby Lee Millers. Which you'd think after being traumatized by an absolute demon monster that you wouldn't turn into one yourself.
Jojo! Have you learned nothing?
But you know what they say? You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Or in Jojo's case, the bad girl who did some bad things. Like really bad things, actually. Illegal things for that matter. Also, are we not going to talk about how she's friends with Shane Dawson, James Charles, and Miranda Sings? Like, oh my god. They're the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Oh, the end is near. More so after seeing this.
Karma's a bitch.
Real big what's going on here? Me when I have squirrels in my pants?
No copyright for me.
I know you got whiplash, sis. I know that hurt. If I saw this outside my house, I'd scream. I'm at a loss for words And I just don't believe words are needed to express how unsettling this is. My biggest shock, aside from whatever this is like the fashion choice. It's giving rejected Kiss member, it's giving WWE star, it's giving like a parent's idea of what kids that went to Hot Topic in 2011 look like. It's a lot, to say the least. And I think that's what my problem with this entire rebrand is. It's painfully too much. For starters, this staged paparazzi pic where she's walking out of a sex shop with a giant PP plush decked out in her merch, promoting her single, heading to her car, decked out in her face, also promoting her single. And it reminds me of when Zac Efron and Vanessa and Hudgens were caught at a sex shop because a fan asked to take photos with them. And they truly think that was the inspiration for this moment. Except that moment with Zac and Vanessa was so iconic because it was awkward, it was wild, and it was authentic. Nothing about what Jojo is doing comes off as authentic. It all seems calculated, forced, like she/her team are just doing too much. For example, she posted this TikTok on March 11th.
Warning, the following content is not made for children and may be disturbing or offensive to some viewers. May contain sexual themes, violence, strong language, dramatic scenarios, and flashing lights. Viewer discretion is advised.
She's teasing that from this day forward, she is no longer kid-friendly. The old Jojo is dead. She can't come to the phone right now. This is 18 and up. We're about to get real wild and crazy up in here. And it did, just in a different sense. The sense where she posted 117 TikToks between March 11th up until now, all about her new song, Karma. I get that as an artist, you should be promoting yourself, but girl, leave some room for the imagination, please. I mean, by the time the song actually came out, people already predicted what it was going to be sounding like, and they almost got it like to a T.
Karma's a bitch. Karma's a snore.
Karma's a bitch. Yeah, yeah. I should have known better.
A bad girl, bad girl.
I was a bad girl.
A lot of the TikToks she posted in between this time were also like, oh, you guys aren't ready.
No one knows what's happening. No one knows what's going on. I do.
This is so crazy.
You haven't seen anything.
You'll never see it coming.
Karma's a bitch.
For everyone being like, oh, you predicted it, you predicted it, you predicted it. No, she just got onto it.
But we did see it coming, Jojo, because you gave us over 117 videos of it. It was actually pretty hard not to see it coming. Side note, I'm convinced Jojo is secretly a millennial. Anyway, I would be more impressed and okay with this rebrand if she kind of just did it instead of saying she was going to do it the entire time leading up to her finally doing it. Like, you don't gotta say you're weird.
I'm weird.
That you're a weirdo.
I'm a weirdo.
Just be weird. Which, by the way, if you're a weirdo and you're enjoying this video, don't be afraid to subscribe. But also, if you're not a weirdo, that's cool too, and you should also subscribe. Everyone's welcome here, especially if you can recreate the Karma dance.
Karma's a bitch.
I think rebranding is super important as artists. It's how you stay fresh, it's how you reinvent yourself. But what really grinds my freaking gears the most about this whole thing is that Jojo keeps comparing her new era and rebrand to Miley Cyrus, Britney Spears, Lady Gaga. Like, I've seen Miley Cyrus being brought up more than anything, especially Miley's Bangers era. Literally, no one was comparing Jojo to Miley until Jojo started comparing herself to Miley.
I was like, this is what I want. She is my #1 idol. I was like, I want to do what she did with Bangers. I want to have that moment. And I mean, look, I'm flattered that the world even can compare that. That's crazy to me.
Which is insane because, like, the #1 thing you should never do is compare yourself to anyone. You are literally setting yourself up for disappointment every time. But since it was brought up, we're gonna talk about it. Yes, Miley and Jojo were two viral kid stars that pulled 180s in their careers. Both were cringe. I love Miley, don't get me wrong, but that foam figure was cringe. The difference is Miley didn't say she was gonna be weird. She wasn't like, I'm gonna grow up and start acting wild and all X-rated. She just did it. And to be fair, real ones were expecting it after the Can't Be Tamed era, which, by the way, Karma, Jojo Siwa's song, was originally written for Miley during that era. This song being a Miley reject is my Roman Empire. Like, I am so sorry, JoJo, but I need to hear Miley's demo. Anyway, what's crazy to me about JoJo saying this is her bangers era is not being able to remember how much the public hated Miley in her bangers era. And that was a great freaking album. But like, people thought Miley lost her marbles, and they did not like Miley losing her marbles. Miley was only able to be taken seriously again by the public. Not me, girl. I always loved you. Anyways, in the last few years. So my thing is like, why would you want to do that then? You saw how badly someone reacted to this specific era in someone's career. I don't think wanting to copy that or like draw inspiration from that is the greatest idea when it was like a really controversial and really bad era for this person, arguably in the public eye. What also really did it for me was this clip.
I wanted to start a new genre of music. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's called gay pop.
I think there needs to be a study done on Jojo Siwa somehow thinking she's the first lesbian ever and the creator of gay pop. While Cher, Britney, Madonna, Gaga, Miley, and Dua Lipa are out there, now if we're talking about gay musicians doing pop music, again, Miley and Gaga, you got Tegan and Sarah, you got Troye Sivan, Hayley Kiyoko, Ricky Martin, my boy Lance from NSYNC. I just thought that was so disrespectful. This genuinely gave me Amy Schumer, I was originally casted as Barbie vibes. I could seriously go on and on about this, but I feel like I've made my point clear, and I feel like a lot of us can agree that JoJo's rebrand is extremely inauthentic, and it feels like what a conservative mother would think is edgy. Actually, you know that trend on TikTok where little kids go in the bathroom and their parents are like, you have like 1 minute to say all the swear words you want, get them out of your system now, and then they like close the bathroom door and leave, and it's just the little kid like swearing in the mirror.
You can say any bad word, but it has to only be in the bathroom. And it's the only time. You won't get in trouble or nothing. Just say all the bad words you want to say, but just in the bathroom, okay? Okay, I'll be back.
Bitch.
That's what happened with this song. Except JoJo could only say bitch and effed up. Like, didn't even give us the full F JoJo. But honestly, it's okay. We've all done embarrassing and cringy stuff when we were younger, and I'm sure we thought we looked cool as heck while doing it. I'm also sure it doesn't help that she's had fame, money, and been in the public eye since being a literal child, being traumatized by Abby Lee Miller.
You deserve nothing else. You earn it. You can't stand here and cry. I want no crying children. None.
Well, if you yell at me, I'm gonna cry.
Get out.
On top of having a stage mom, who, by the way, I just found out has been dyeing her daughter's hair blonde since she was 2 years old.
You know, your hair is getting really dark. We're gonna need to lighten this up.
I have been dyeing my hair since I was like 2, maybe 1.5. I'm not a natural blonde. I'm actually a natural brown. I get brown roots, so I have to dye it so it looks like I'm a natural blonde.
Abby can't say we didn't go all out. We went all out. You get out there and work it. Just listen to your music and dance.
Imagine bleaching a toddler's hair their entire life. That's a lot to unpack. On top of that, she's also the first openly lesbian children's entertainer. Or ex-children's entertainer, I guess. She's X-rated now. All I do know is that the shock value is working. We're all talking about it. We're all a bit confused and a bit concerned. We're sadly not talking about it in the best way possible, which is where I bring in my fancy college degree and qualifications as a PR graduate. And I am here to inform you about it. Not all PR is good PR. It's literally the first thing they teach us. So that being said, I'm very curious to see how this situation or Siwa-ation, if you will, goes. And I genuinely hope it goes well for her. But if I see her wearing a Cookie Monster snapback next,
JoJo!
I'm gonna frickin' lose it. Regardless, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You know, if Karma's a bitch and she's with you right now, I'd love to hear about it. You know, I'll give it to her. You got me, JoJo. That line has been stuck in my head for like 72 hours, so all right, you win. I felt that knife twist. Stop. Okay. Shout out the day goes to Jackie. Thank you for this comment. JoJo is emo now and comes out of the water like a sea monster. But can a sea monster pull off these moves, Jackie?
Karma's a bitch.
Real big bitch.
I should have known better.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a wish I would have never effed around. When I was on I felt a knife twist.
That's the real question. I'm gonna go practice my dancing now. Take care. Love ya. Bye.